What up, everybody? As promised, I'm going to talk about Machine Gun Kelly versus Eminem, who I think won. Finally, Eminem responded. It was 11 days after Machine Gun Kelly's Rap Devil. I'm just going to get right into it. To provide a very brief historical timeline of how it all started, Machine Gun Kelly made a tweet in 2012 about how hot Eminem's daughter is, and later in 2015, Machine Gun Kelly claims that he was blackballed by Eminem by not being able to appear in certain interviews and other things of that nature. And this year in 2018, Machine Gun Kelly was featured on a Tech Nine song called No Reason, where he has a line which is definitely aimed at Eminem where he says, "Just remember you rap, but you're not God," something to that effect. Eminem then responds on Not Alike off his Kamikaze album. 3 days later, MGK comes with Rap Devil. So this video is just really about Rap Devil and Killshot, since I talked about Not Alike in my previous Kamikaze review, which I'll have linked up. So for this video, I'm going to start off with the Breakfast Club interview, which was released after Killshot, where Machine Gun Kelly's with Charlemagne the God, Envy, and Angela Yee, and talking about basically his response to Killshot and how he's not going to release a diss song. He gave it a 6 out of 10. Calls it leg shot, and he goes on to say that Rap Devil was filled with facts. Killshot didn't have many facts in it at all. So first, basically my approach on this video is I'm going to kind of debunk that statement, how actually in both these songs there are a lot of misleading statements, but in reality, Killshot does have more facts. So I'm going to take some of the best lines and some of the more dubious lines in these songs and kind of take it from there. Machine Gun Kelly actually did something pretty noble. I respect him for it. On the Not Alike song with Eminem and Royce the 5'9", on Eminem's portion of the song, Ronnie J produced that portion of the beat. So what Machine Gun Kelly did is he enlisted Ronnie to produce his Rap Devil song, which I thought was dope. You know, it puts it kind of on like a level playing field. I also thought the beat was pretty cool. So let's get into it. First line where I thought was dope, where he says, "Hey, grab some clippers, his fucking beard is weird." Eminem, his beard is kind of weird, I'll give him that, it's hysterical. And he goes on to say, "I think my dad's gone crazy. Yeah, Haley, you right. Dad's always mad, cooped up in the studio, yelling at the mic." Let's be honest here, Eminem has been yelling at the microphone a lot. He's kind of grown to be like the old angry rapper, you know, the mad rapper, if you want to take it back on him. But he's been yelling a lot of his career, but it seems like he's been yelling even more these past few albums. And then here's where one of the dubious lines comes in, where he says, "Mad about something I said in 2012, took you 6 years and a surprise album just to come with a diss." Well, this is one thing where I have a problem with MGK. It didn't take him 6 years to come up with a diss. MGK made the comment about Haley, Eminem's daughter, in 2012, and Eminem just ignored it. And maybe he, you know, told Sway and other people not to work with him because of it, you know, who were close to him. But he was actually responding to your line on Tech Nine's song, the No Reason song, so that was completely false, although it is a dope line, you know. And he has another dubious line where he says, "Still can't cover up the fact that your last 4 albums are as bad as your selfie." So that's pretty funny in the sense that Eminem, if you guys follow him at all, he has the trashiest selfies ever. He does it as a joke, I'm sure, but who knows? I don't know what goes on in his head. But MGK, and I'll put a tweet up on screen, he's praised Eminem in 2010, saying he's his idol. Eminem's last 4 albums, the one that was 4 albums ago was Relapse, which was in, 2008? So if he tweeted in 2010 and he's saying his last 4 albums are as bad as a selfie, then why is he praising Eminem in 2010 when 4 albums ago was 2008? So that makes no sense. Although it's a dope line, if you do a little bit of digging and just know your kind of like chronological history, then you already know that that line makes no sense. He goes on and says, you know, "Knees weak of old age, the real Slim Shady can't stand up." Clever. You know, "Hello Marshall, my name's Colson, you should go back to recovery." That's another line where I'm like, okay, well now you kind of just completely are hypocritical in the sense that you're saying you should go back to your album Recovery, but that was dropped in 2009, and it was 3 albums ago, which Eminem addresses in his song Killshot. And he goes on to say he dropped an album just because of me. Damn, you're in love with me. Eminem didn't drop an album because of you. He dedicated one verse to you. He also has some clever lines where he says, "When you know you get nervous, rabbit, I see mama's spaghetti all over your sweater, blah, blah, blah." And he says, "I wish you would lose yourself in the records you made a decade ago. They were better." So here we go again. He's saying, "I wish you went back to a decade ago," but even a decade ago, that was within those past 4 albums. So being a hypocrite once again. He has a line on here which I thought was clever, but it also doesn't make too much sense because he says, "You were named after a candy, I was named after a gangster." Dude, you chose your name. I can make my name like, I don't know, the realest rapper of all time or Thug or just some shit like that. I made that name. And Eminem's name is not after a candy per se. It's really his initials, Marshall Mathers Eminem, which I'm sure he knows. So it's kind of stupid if you think about it for a second. He has a dope line where he says, "I already fucked one rapper's girl this week, don't make me call Kim." To end the song on that was just like amazing. I thought that was like awesome. And if he actually pulled that off, it's like, that would suck for M. But to be honest, here, so those are some of the lines that I just wanted to point out that had, definitely some falseness to them. But I also showed some of the good ones. I didn't want to cover the whole thing, but in all, that song was actually really strong. It definitely warranted a diss from Eminem, and I'm happy Eminem responded to it, because if he didn't respond, I would have thought that was pretty whack of him. But no, it was dope. The beat was hard. I had a little problem with the auto-tune chorus, which Eminem also addresses in Killshot. But I was like, you know what? MGK put up a pretty good diss, although not all factually there. Which a lot of people in diss songs, you have to understand, stretch the truth. They just want to make their opponent seem weak, and makes sense. So now we'll go to Killshot, which already I thought was very clever with the name, which I didn't know about this. Someone told me about this, but Killshot is actually a movie where the main character, their name is Coulson, or their last name is Coulson, which is MGK's name, real name. And this person ends up getting shot or dying or something in that regard. So to name your song Killshot and basically directly reference that shows that he had a lot of thought behind it. I thought that was pretty clever. So now let's get into some of the lyrics for Eminem's. And also, as I stated, it took him about 11 days to drop that song after Rap Devil was dropped. So one of the opening lines where he says, "Wait, you just diss me? I'm perplexed. Insult me in a line, compliment me on the next." And that's a fact. MGK has 3 lines that I'm pointing out right here where he's completely complimenting Eminem, where he says, "Homie, we get it. We know that you're the greatest rapper alive. I'll acknowledge you're the GOAT, but I'm the gunner, bitch. I got you in the scope." He's acknowledging that he's the greatest of all time. And another one where he says, "They made a movie about you. You're in everybody's top 10. So it's kind of interesting that he's dissing him, but also acknowledging his accolades and giving him respect. I do like that, because a lot of the times, like I said, in diss songs, you get people who are just thrashing their opponent and always saying all their shit's whack, when in reality, they probably have some good material out there. But also, it's like, at the same time, Eminem brought that up very geniusly, if you must say so. Eminem also super wisely brings up his song Stan and references MGK's daughter in it, and showing that MGK's Stan, where he says, "Realize I forgot to call you back. Here's an autograph for your daughter. I wrote it on a starter cap." Come on, dude. And he says, "Stan, son, listen, man, dad isn't mad, but how you gonna name yourself after a damn gun and have a man bun?" So I have a problem with this. One amazing thing is they reference a Stan, and as we all know, that MGK is a huge Eminem fan. He loves his music. He's talked about it. I showed a tweet about it as well. But one problem I have with this line is at the latter part of it, where he says, "How you going to name yourself after a gun and have a man bun?" Well, as Machine Gun Kelly has also stated, his bun, or his hairstyle at the time, was actually due to a movie. So he's an actor. If they tell him to dress a certain way, do his hair a certain way, he's going to do that. He's getting paid for it. So that line is kind of lame in that sense, but the Stan portion of it was excellent, especially because of how valid it is. Eminem then kind of goes on. He says, "You're dissing my age, but I'm still outselling you," with lines like, "I'm 45 and I'm still outselling you. By 29, I had 3 albums that it blew." That's a fact. Eminem is still outselling a lot of people, and he's definitely outselling Machine Gun Kelly. Not to say that Machine Gun Kelly doesn't sell, But he is outselling Machine Gun Kelly. That's a fact. And by 29, he did have 3 albums that are blue. And one, I'm going to bring up The Breakfast Club one more time because this was also a very false statement. Unless MGK can provide numbers, which he definitely won't because I'm sure it's false. He stated on there that he sold over 20 million albums, or 20 million records is what he said. What does he mean by record? I don't know. Is he talking about streaming? Is he talking about sales? I don't think so, because I was doing some research. 2 of his albums went gold, but I don't know if that even is like digital streaming equivalent or if that's pure sales-wise. Eminem did sales-wise. That's nuts. MGK also had some singles that charted platinum and double platinum, but once again, a single, let's say that's $1.29, whatever iTunes is charging or other platforms. Eminem was doing albums. If you're counting singles, it's a whole other ballpark as to what you're really selling. So that's false. That was one thing I kind of had to bring up there. And Eminem also is telling facts with his numbers and his sales. More lines where he says, where he brings up the recovery statement, yo, Slim, your last 4 albums sucked, go back to recovery. Oh, shoot, that was 3 albums ago. He's basically telling MGK, get your facts right because you're calling my last 4 albums whack, but then you tell me to go back to recovery, which is 3 albums ago. Another fact. And he goes on and he brags with lines like, I had enough money in '02 to burn it in front of you. Younger me? No, you're the whack me. It's funny, but so true. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you. Dude, in '02 he was on top of the world. Best-selling rapper at that time. Really, Dre was behind him, just everything, man. And then he goes on to bragging more, saying, I got more fans in your own city. That's also probably true, dude. I mean, Cleveland is where MGK's from, Detroit's where Eminem's from, not super, super far geographically speaking, both in the Midwest. And Eminem, I'm sure, does have more fans than MGK. It's just, but he can really say that about any rapper, right? It's hard to beat that guy popularity-wise. And he also has another line, which I think maybe a lot of people didn't catch, but he said, yeah, bitch, pop champagne to this, it's your moment, this is it, as big as you're gonna get, so enjoy it, had to give you a career to destroy it. So the reason why he mentions the champagne is because MGK was on Instagram after Not a Like dropped, and he was popping champagne, basically celebrating that Eminem finally responded to him, which in itself is a little corny. It's like, you're happy that someone dissed you? That's pretty lame. But Eminem says, I had to give you a career to destroy it, which is a stupidly hard line. But at the same time, it's kind of false. As I've stated, MGK has had accolades before this. He's won gold. He's won platinum. So Eminem didn't give him his career. However, Eminem is definitely giving him the peak of his career. MGK's Rap Devil went millions and millions and millions of views within 24 hours, and that week it had I don't remember, somewhere over 50 million views or just something like that. It was just insane. And to have that kind of success, Eminem's line is it makes a little bit of sense, but it's not entirely true because MGK was established before Eminem came around. And he has a super clever line. He knows as long as I'm shady, he's going to have to live in my shadow. Amazing. And lastly, Eminem has a line where he's kind of adopting MGK's flow and chorus, and he disses him with it, which I thought was pretty clever, where he says, I'm sick of you using that motherfucking auto-tune, so let's talk about it. I'm sick of your mumble rap mouth, need to give the cock about it. So I thought that was dope how, like I said, he adopted the flow, but one part that was whack is where he's basically saying, you're a mumble rapper, which I understood everything MGK said, and I think mumble rap is just a term that's really thrown out there now. I can understand every rapper that I've heard. Some, sure, harder than others, but it's more of a term to just diss younger MCs. Whether I like them or not is a whole other topic, but to call mumble rappers is pretty disrespectful. Some people, that's what they like, But to kind of bring it back to the Breakfast Club interview where MGK said that, he's spitting facts, Rap Devil is filled with the facts, Eminem's Killshot did not have facts in it. As I kind of just told you guys, factually, both songs were not filled with 100% truth. More of Killshot was facts, and that's just bottom line. You can look into it. I described some of it to you. Rap Devil was probably filled with a lot of nervousness from Machine Gun Kelly. His idol's dissing him. It makes sense that he is going to spit out some outrageous things that don't make sense. I think MGK could have dug up some more dirt and made a more clever diss, but in all, the Rap Devil was pretty dope, and I'm happy you put it out there. I liked it so much I bought it. You know what I'm saying? It was good. With that being said, Killshot is just simply better. At first, I didn't think Killshot was that much better. I thought it was kind of a tie because I was expecting a little bit more ferociousness in his flow, because we've seen him on songs like The Sauce, Nail in the Coffin, and there's tons out there where he's just really going in. Especially on Kamikaze, he was really going in on some of the songs. I thought this would be just a little more amped up. But with that being said, it's still just a better song, and better diss track, and more accurate. And the fact that Machine Gun Kelly is stating that he's not going to respond to it, he gives it a 6 out of 10, is pretty corny, and then goes on to spit some nonsense on the Breakfast Club. Some other stuff is valid. As I stated, I don't know to the extent of which Eminem, quote unquote, blackballed MGK. But at the same time, you can't really play the victim card and say that you're blackballed when at the same time you're claiming that you sold 20 million records. That's, you gotta either play this or that. You can't play both. And of course, it's gonna make sense that Eminem's not gonna have you on Sway's show if he's good friends with Sway and Sway's under his umbrella, because you called his underage daughter hot. Like, he looked like a chump to have you on there. But on top of that, another thing that I thought was very hypocritical was the Machine Gun Kelly's complaining about that. He's saying, Eminem finally puts out an interview and Sway's interviewing him, and it's clearly all staged, and he told Sway to ask him certain questions. Sure, that may be valid, but then again, Eminem disses Diddy, he disses Charlemagne, he disses Budden, he disses you. You go on Charlemagne's show, bro. Charlemagne's asking you questions after Eminem dissed him. And Diddy owns Revolt TV, which puts out all this Breakfast Club content. If you go to Revolt TV's website, the first thing you're going to see is Breakfast Club content. So you can't tell me that your interview now doesn't seem a little bit staged, and how hypocritical it is with people that Eminem has publicly dissed in the past couple weeks, and now you're having questions asked by them and having your opinions validated by them. So that was very hypocritical. I don't respect that kind of stuff, because you're kind of leading the fans a certain way, which is just false. But at the same time, both these rappers did a lot with this. Killshot was the #1 hip-hop song in the first 24 hours or something. YouTube history or some crap like that. Regardless, it has millions and millions of views. Rap Devil has millions of views. Probably going to be MGK's most talked about song ever, I'm sure. So they should both be thankful about it. It even helped Eminem, But all in all, I think Machine Gun Kelly took the L on this, especially since it sounds like he's not going to respond. But I want to know what you guys think. Did MGK have the better diss songs? Did Eminem? And why? Let me know. Drop a comment, share it, subscribe, show your friends, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you with more reviews, and let me know what you think. Alright?